Hi, good afternoon. For those of you who haven't met me before, I've been working with BVE for about 6 months. My background was most recently in conference organisation, but before that I spent 6 years selling DVD authoring solutions with Sonic Solutions. So I've done the production show, IBC, NAB, so I've put in my time on the exhibition floor. So my role is very much to drive your clients and our visitors to the show. We all know that at BVE the seminars are very popular, and the point of the seminars is to ensure that the right clients attend the show and that we provide a bit more of an impetus for them to actually come along. So there are just a few stats here for you from the last event in February. We had over 15,000 visitors. The average time that they spent at the show was 5.5 hours, which is a pretty good old long space of time. And the numbers of seats that we filled in seminars, so not so much the number of individual people that came, but the number of people that actually sat in a session was 12,500, which is a pretty impressive stat. We're obviously targeting a higher number of people for next year, and part of the reason for putting the seminars on is a way that we will help drive that, both by targeting a new audience and indeed attracting a wider range of people to the show. So the content and the seminars that we're putting on for 2013, obviously now that I've been brought onto the team, we've got more time to actually look for new speakers that represent and will be a good draw for our audience. This slide is split between the theatres that are backed by popular request on the right-hand side. So you'll all be very familiar with regular features such as the production theatre, producer seminars, 3D cinema, audio room, Broadcast Meets IT, and Post. And then the brands as broadcasters, live events in the cloud are shorter single-day theatres. Those theatres that we've been running for a good few years at the show obviously really represent the breadth of the visitors that we get in. And so obviously those of you who are working in, who have Post products, obviously we have a whole theatre that is targeted directly at those people working in that sector. On the left-hand side of the screen, we've got some new aspects for next year. Obviously, we're in a bigger venue. We've got a lot more space, so therefore we're building in a few extra features. The Connected Theatre is what the theatre formerly known as the Content Delivery Theatre, and here we're actually broadening out our main visitor base with a lot more features in terms of education on what you can do in the connected space. So we have a lot more broadcast engineers, for example, who are now tasked with getting their video out over IP, for example. So that's when those sorts of questions will be answered. The cinematography theatre is targeting that higher end client. So those people who are on very much the crafting side of creating content. We've danced around this in previous years. We're actually celebrating it this year. We do get a lot of cinematographers, DOPs coming to the show. This is a theatre for them really to talk to their peers, swap expertise and see some really high-end content. The live demo theatre has been formerly known as our lighting theatre, so it's a proper big theatre that's fully draped where we're working with exhibitor partners and sponsorship partners to rig bits of kit in there that can't necessarily be accommodated on the show floor. So again, that's something that, if you have products that you think might fit in there, certainly come and talk to me or my colleagues in the sales team about that. Future of Media Summit. This is an event that's actually been brought in from our partners at Broadcast Magazine, and it's a business strategic CEO summit that's been running for 6 years. This is now coming under the BVE wing because it attracts CEOs of a lot of the content owners and content publishers of whose technical directors are actually walking around the show floor. So this will be off the show floor. It's targeting a different audience, so I'm not stealing anyone from the BVE show floor to take into that summit. But the idea is that if we've got the business head and the CEO in one room talking strategy, they will send their CTO down to the show floor to spend their money there, when we've told them upstairs that business is booming. Networking and social events, we will be building in, again, because we have more space, a lot more environments on the show floor where we can facilitate networking, whether this is in roundtable discussions or in user group meetups at the bar, for example. Visitor parties and nominated local BVE hotels. There's a lot going on in this area. There are a lot of spaces that we can use in the evening, sort of after hours, to facilitate, again, further networking. We do have a lot of people that come to the show from outside London who will be staying locally and have been asking us to set things up in the evening. So whether that's audio engineers meet up in the bar around the corner at 6:30 or those types of things. Again, these are things that we're working very much with social media groups to build up. And again, if there are any parts of the industry that you're working with, or niche groups or user groups that you can put me in touch with, where you think that sort of networking opportunity would be valuable, don't hesitate to put your ideas forward. The theatres and the agendas are put together based on the research that we do with your clients. So once we've identified the level of person and the types of industry that we need to get onto the show floor, we then go out and research with them, find out what their challenges are, find out who they look up to, who they really want to hear from and meet, and those are the people that we target to speak in our seminar rooms. So, for example, the production theatre, obviously we've got 3 days of show, we've got about 8 sessions a day, we have two or three of those reserved for our corporate sponsor partners, and then the rest of those sessions will be filled with heads of production or commissioners of content, or, for example, in the Broadcast Meets IT, broadcasters. So that's the way that the seminars are actually put together. We're putting them together in order of, to an extent in the order in which we get to them, but actually we've already put together the Post Theatre, the Broadcast Meets IT Theatre and the Cloud Theatre, and we're working on production and producers at the moment. So that we are obviously, we have those sessions confirmed in far in advance so that everyone can start getting excited about it and put specific seminars into their diary that they want to attend. We've already got some excellent speakers confirmed on the agenda in terms of broadcasters. We've got the BBC, Channel 4, ITV, Sky, Sky B, BBC Worldwide, speakers from the EBU, Turner Broadcasting, the Discovery Channel, BBC Studios, Maverick TV, The Farm, Orange Coconut Post-Production, and many more. If you're interested in looking, keeping an eye on the speaker lineup, these are uploaded to our website on a regular basis. So finally, there's a quote there from Head of News at ITV Group. The feedback that we get from talking to our audience is very much that they like to come and meet their partners on the show floor, and if there is an interesting session, then it's great to sit down and rest their legs for half an hour and learn something new, meet someone who's in the same field, and then move back to the exhibition. So I feel that it's a very important tool for bringing in your clients to the show, and indeed any feedback that you would like to give us on people that you'd like to see or new areas in the market that you'd like to target. We have our research, we work very closely with that, we're looking in new areas to expand into, but any feedback that you'd like to give us on that side would be very welcome. Thank you very much.